Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going very well. I don't have to do this by myself this week. You're not trapped in a closet. People don't just have to listen to me drone about matches. This is good. This is good. And heck, what a beautiful day outside today, eh? I mean, my God,
Yeah.
beautiful day to be outside. Sun was shining. What more could we ask for on this lovely day? The Elite are wrestling tonight. I mean, really, what more could we ever ask for in a Wednesday? How was
Very,
your Wednesday?
very, very true. Very true. It was a great day outside. I mean, we've been getting this really odd non-winter blast that we have. And oddly, the days have been getting a lot longer. And I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but the
Oh
days
yeah.
have been getting longer. I'm not so when I leave in the morning, normally when I do go into the office, it obviously in December, dark. You leave at
Mhm.
5, dark. But now, in the morning time, 7 o'clock, it's not dark. It's bright. And then after, it's not like nighttime, right? It's still
Yes.
it's still pretty bright. So I'm happy when I see that because it means the days are getting longer, which means winter is leaving us soon. So I am
Hmm.
happy with that.
Yep. Yeah, no, totally, totally. I also discovered some of the fun parts about getting older. I go for my walk every day. For
Hmm.
some unknown reason today, I wake up with a terribly sore back. Why? I don't know. I'm not in terrible shape. It's just
Hmm.
sore. Do I know why?
Interesting.
No. I just have a sore back. So, but that wasn't enough to keep me at all down. So,
Awesome.
life is what you make out of life.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, and
But
that's it,
we
right? Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, like you're right in terms of like keeping active and stuff like that. Like that's it. It's really how young you feel.
Mhm.
Even with myself, like I'm trying to like move a lot more, but you do run into the time where you're like wake up, you're like, why is my ankle hurting me? What the heck did I? But I've realized you forget what you've done, right? Because
Mhm.
like there are times you'll be walking, yeah, accidentally twist your ankle by accident, and at the time you're like, that was pretty stupid of me. And then the next day you're like, why is my ankle hurting? You
Yeah.
don't know why. And you're like, wait, did I sleep on it awkwardly? Which
Mhm.
could have been the issue, right? It's just, our bodies are just don't recover as fast as they used to. Um, but yeah, and that's it. Like I can imagine what these wrestlers go through after
Oh my God, could
the
you
matches.
imagine?
Darby
Yeah.
Allin, I just don't know how you do it.
Yep.
So
I'm telling you
don't
that
know.
that comment Kevin Bennett made at the Smash Show will always stick in
Hmm.
my head. Hey, I'm sore every day.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, ouch. Anyway, so we do, however, have a wrestling show tonight. And what we do here on One Winged Wrestling is we don't just talk about the weather and our sore backs. We actually talk about professional wrestling. So tonight we're going to be predicting Dynamite, looking at the matches, and then we're going to go away and we're going to review Dynamite. And we're going to see, most importantly, of course, did anything on tonight's show reach that all important Omega level? And there is, of course, potential tonight because Kenny Omega is actually going to wrestle.
It's
But
about time. I
yeah.
know we had such a fun match on Rampage.
Hmm.
And honestly, like I know what's happening tonight. I know who they're fighting tonight, but man, that match on Rampage was really, really fun.
Yes. Yeah,
So
exactly. And if you all haven't checked it out, please by all
mm,
means do so, and go back and listen to Krishna's and my thoughts on that match on our
mhm.
last the OWW Weekly podcast from earlier this week. And you can check out all of our podcasts in your favorite podcast app. If you'd like to leave us a 5-star review or any kind of review for that matter, thumbs up, subscribe on YouTube. Look, any way that you can help us out, like I say all the time right now, we appreciate it. We really do. On that note, would you like to go through tonight's Dynamite, Krishna?
Let's do it.
Okay. Tonight's Dynamite comes to us from El Paso County Coliseum in El Paso, Texas. Oh my God, an actually normally named Coliseum. El Paso County Coliseum. No fancy brand name, no nothing.
I'm just waiting for the Jello Arena. When are we gonna get the Jello Arena? Kraft, get on that, right?
I know, right? The Kraft Jello Arena. Pretty great. But tonight we've got a few matches to talk about. So the first up we have the Garcia-Guevara Gauntlet match.
Yeah. So okay. So and maybe I need to figure this one out because I'm a little confused about the Garcia-Guevara Gauntlet match, right? So it's Ricky Starks, and he has to go up against now. I'm assuming are all these matches back to back? Is that what's happening here? So he's going up against Cool Hand Ange, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
Daddy Magic Matt Menard.
Yes.
Then he has to go up against either Sammy or Garcia.
Yes, who they will decide at the time. Yes.
Which they'll decide at the time. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope he goes up against Sammy. Sammy's my boy. And Bill Garcia was pretty awesome. And then not today, but it earns him a match against Jericho, which I'm assuming is gonna be a Revolution or something like that, right?
Yes. Well, I don't know if it'll be a Revolution, but he gets a match against Jericho. Yeah.
You know, I'm not like I kind of like some Gauntlet matches. I really do. Some of them are just overdrawn sometimes because remember we had said, wait, are they doing this again? Does he have to go through this person? Then he has to go through that person. They've done this with every single person who's tried to get to like a MJF or a Jericho, right? I'm kind of glad they're doing like a one night Gauntlet. That's kind of it's fun.
Yes.
Right. So I think this match is going to be fun. I think there are going to be some shenanigans in it, but you know, getting to see like Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and potentially Garcia. Well, not potentially, but Garcia or Guevara. That's a pretty cool lineup of people to go up against, right?
Yeah.
You know my feelings about Ricky Starks. I think that he's a good wrestler. He's just missing something, and I don't know what it is. Like he showboats a lot, and I prefer that he just like wrestles a lot better than he's currently doing. So I'm hoping that this match actually is really good for him. I think this match is going to be great. I'm looking at the matches for the night. We have a pretty good like lineup here, right? So I mean, I'm gonna say, ooh, the Eliminator match. Okay, I'm gonna say we have what is it? 6 matches or 5 matches?
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Sorry, there are 6 matches.
I'm gonna put this one. Ooh, this is hard. Like, I'm gonna say, based on the matches tonight, probably 5th place, which is kind of, it's not bad. It's just based on the matches tonight. I think it's gonna be the 5th best match that we have here.
Yep. You know what? And once again, I'm going to agree with you. This is going to be the 5th best match. I'm not really hyped for this match because he's going to win. We's not going to not win. So he's going to beat all 3 of these guys, whoever they are. Right. And so we're going to watch 2.0 almost never wrestles anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Except on like, you know, Elevation or something. So we're going to get to see these guys wrestle, and they're basically going to get run over by Ricky Starks. Yeah. And then he's going to beat either Sammy Guevara or Daniel Garcia, which I like both those guys more than I like Ricky Starks. So I'm like, okay, he's going to beat 3 guys that I actually like to have a match with Jericho some other time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not really up on this. This is okay. I mean, I do agree with you. The one thing I agree with, thank God it's not a multi-week gotta fight all these guys to get to Jericho thing, because we've done that. Now, if you want a really good gauntlet match, I suggest you all go back and check out the he knows what I'm gonna say. The Julia gauntlet match recently from Stardom, where she fought 10 people, each of them for 3 minutes.
Maybe that's where they got the idea.
Match. No, not even close. Not even close. I mean, that was an amazing match. This one, not going to be anywhere at the level, and will only be the 5th best match. Again, you know what's not on our list of things to do? Any talking segments.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's great. So next up, we have an AEW Women's World Championship Eliminator match. It's Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter taking on the Bunny.
So again, this one's is hard because I do think it should be better than the Gauntlet match. I do. I just don't know where to put it on the listing, because there is a match that the person in it's awesome, but I don't know how well that match is going to be, and I'm really trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Right, I really am. And I know what Hayter can do. I know what the Bunny can do. Hey, I keep saying, when the AEW women put on hardcore matches, they are some of the best matches you will ever see. Like, it doesn't matter if the women, man or woman matches, right? So that's why I'm a little stuck here. But I'm gonna, just based on who this person is, I'm going to put this on as fourth place. I'm going to put
Yep.
this as fourth, thinking that the other one should be better.
You are once again correct, sir. It is going to be fourth.
Okay.
Yep. The bunny can wrestle.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Jamie Hayter, we know, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there may be some hijinks from Penelope Ford, but I think that'll be countered by Britt Baker or Rebel being at ringside too. So we might get a little bit of shenanigans, but I don't think there'll be enough shenanigans in this to make a big difference.
Fair enough.
I am interested. Are they going to do anything with the Outsiders plot line in this?
Probably. But the weird part is that if you think about the Outsiders plotline, right? Hayter and the bunny are not the Outsiders, right?
Correct, which is kind of intriguing, right? What if they put on a great match and we see like the bunny and Penelope Ford, both of whom should reasonably be aligned with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker? There's a foursome for you. You know, against these outsiders.
The Outsiders.
Right. So I think if there is going to be anything around this, it'll happen after the match. I don't think it'll happen during the match at all, because AEW has a tendency to let the matches finish first, right? So I think if there is something, it's going to happen after the match. At the very least, I think we'll get like a quick promo from the outsider group after the match, but
maybe
we'll see what happens. I am intrigued with this one, but I think the match itself will be quite good. I mean, again, we're getting like one of these spoiled nights where we have so many good matches that it's like something that I go, this is going to be a really good match. It's going to be the fourth best match on the card, right? Speaking of amazing matches, we have Roosh taking on Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this match is going to be number 2. I love Roosh. I think he's so good. I'm very curious to see how he fights against Danielson and what Danielson brings to this match. Because if you want hard hitting, man, I wouldn't go hard hitting against Roosh. This guy looks like he kills people like that. His finisher, the bullhorns or whatever he calls it. Oh my! I don't know how you block that move. I don't understand how you block that move. Right. So I'm putting this as my number 2 match of the night.
Yep. And again, here we go again. I am completely agreeing with you yet again. Roosh versus Bryan Danielson. This is going to be amazing. In fact, if something is off in the match, I assume we're both picking as the number 1 match. This match could, at least for me, steal match of the night.
What I was thinking,
this is really close. On any other night, without that trios match happening, this would be my match of the night easily. All right. Roosh versus Danielson. Oh my God, all day. Thank you. All right. Yeah. It's going to be good stuff. So yeah, definitely Roosh versus Danielson. I am counting on this being this is a match too that I think could reach the Omega level. We shall see. Then we have an AEW World Tag Team Championship match, because AEW, believe it or not, has tag team champions. The Acclaimed champions are taking on the Guns in what I think is the Acclaimed's first title defense since they were fighting against Swerve in Our Glory, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that's right.
Those other matches weren't title defenses that they had?
Against whom?
Didn't they have a squash match last week?
That wasn't a title match.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, maybe.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
yeah, that's really weird. Didn't they beat FTR? Was that before or after Swerve in Our Glory?
I thought that was before. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
anyway.
regardless. I mean, the Acclaim versus the Guns. I mean, I've already called it that this is the big turn by Billy Gunn, right? For something that nobody asked for, which is kind of it's crazy. Today Dax Harwood released another podcast which he speaks about this and what they were promised for the tag titles and the fact that they changed that, and interesting. But this is going to be like the number 6 match on here, because it's the story is kind of lame. The build up is no one cares for it. The fans are not even really behind this that much in comparison to the other ones. So this one, like, I mean, I'm not saying these guys can't wrestle. Just no one, like, I just don't really care for this match.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, number 6.
Yep, number 6 for me too. I mean, it's an Acclaimed match. Yeah. And their matches, and again, like you just said, they can wrestle. Yeah. I have no doubt that the wrestling in this match will be decent. It might even be able to take over the number 5 or number 4 spot if the wrestling's good enough. But the story is just going to knock it down a notch for me, because I do not care about this story. Here's some
Agreed.
information on their title defenses if you want it from
Mhm.
Cage Match. So they won the titles in September 21st.
Okay.
They got it from Swerve and Our Glory on Dynamite. And then a couple weeks later, or the next week, they defended the titles in an AEW World Tag Team 3-way against Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. And then a month later, they defended against in the tag title versus trademark match against the Varsity Athletes.
Okay.
Right. And then they had another match against Swerve and Our Glory. And then they fought against FTR. You are correct. That was after the Swerve and Our Glory stuff. This was in December. And then they had yet another title defense on Dynamite against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. And then they had a no holds barred match against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. So I am way out to lunch. They have defended these titles multiple times over the last couple months. You know how many of those matches I remember at all?
The one that you mentioned?
The one that I mentioned. Correct. I'm like, oh yeah, they did fight all these other matches that are completely forgettable. Thanks. Oh, we need a real tag division. Anyway. So that brings us to the World Championship, another Eliminator match. Man, AEW loves their Eliminator matches. MJF versus Konosuke Takeshita.
So this one I put at obviously number 3, because I think the best part of this match is Takeshita. I don't know what's good. Now, he's going to be facing it off at MJF, and this is where this match can either stay at number 3 or drop like immensely to like the last place, like depending on what happens on this match, right? I'm hoping for a clean-ish match. I'm hoping for a good match because Takeshita can do that. I just don't know if MJF is up to par with Takeshita. Right. That's my fear.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely because Takeshita is one of the best wrestlers in wrestling. Period. Right? Like, especially these days, he's a master of his craft, and and he's so young. He's only got nowhere to go but up. Right. So we have Konosuke Takeshita, one of the best in the world, taking on MJF, whose wrestling, as we have pointed out many times, is mid. So mid versus one of the best. As long as Takeshita, and I think this is what's going to happen, Takeshita is really going to take it to MJF. He's going to beat the living crap out of MJF, except when MJF cheats.
Yep.
Right. And so MJF is going to cheat, and he's going to cheat some more, and he'll finally win by cheating. Right.
Yep.
There is an outside chance that they use this match to attempt to showcase MJF as a better wrestler to prep, us for the match against Danielson.
Yep.
There is a chance that happens. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some wrestling or MJF trying to say like, oh, look, I can wrestle, blah, blah, blah. So I guess we'll see.
I think what's happened here is AEW once again, trying to course correct, right? Because when MJF came out and said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrestle barely anytime. I'm only going to wrestle at pay-per-views and stuff like that. Great. He did a WWE heel, right? Like promo. The AEW fans don't give a shit about that stuff, right? It's like, great. We have Danielson wrestling every single week, and he's amazing. We know that. We don't know anything about you. Right. So if they want to sell tickets and build up hype for this, or not sell tickets, but sell pay-per-views, I guess, you need to put him out there, show him what he could do. And Takeshita's the perfect guy to put him out there against. He will make you look good. Right. But some of this, well, a lot of this has to rely on how good MJF's showing is tonight. And because if he sucks, again, I don't care about the Danielson match. I really don't, right?
Which is unfortunate because it's going to be the main event on a pay-per-view for an hour long.
Exactly. So they better start building him up because I just don't care still.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it's going to be tough anyway because his personality is what it is. So, I mean, I kind of don't care about him anyway.
Speaking of personality, again, Eddie Kingston came out, a podcast, I think it was released today, where he absolutely sewered MJF, saying that he does not like him. He doesn't care if he gets suspended or even if he's like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? He's like, I don't like people who don't listen, think they're better than everybody else, and are just not good people. And you know what, Eddie Kingston, that is something to live by. Just the base minimum. Just be a good person. And apparently, Max is not that great. So Eddie does not like him at all.
Oh,
And
I
we
love
love Eddie
Eddie so
Kingston.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I love Eddie Kingston. He's just so, he's kind of like the kind of guy that you almost have to keep an eye on when he's in the
Mhm.
locker room because he's the kind of guy that could stir up trouble almost
Yep.
accidentally. But beyond that, awesome dude. Love
Mhm.
him. And, yeah, I don't know anything about MJF personally. I don't. Like
Mhm.
I only see the character he plays. I don't think I've ever listened to an actual out of character interview with him or anything like that. So I don't know what he's like outside of wrestling, right? Um, I haven't heard too much about him, so but yeah, it's hopefully Eddie Kingston is setting himself up for a very interesting challenge against MJF because I think that would be a lot of fun because I think that Eddie Kingston cutting promos on MJF would be legendary. So yeah. But this match, yeah, I agree. Third place, we'll see what happens. So that brings us to what can only be Krishna's and my match of the night, possibly the greatest trios match post the best of seven series. We have the Elite taking on Top Flight and AR Fox in an AEW World Trios Championship match.
Yep. I don't know what else to say about this match. I mean, I think AEW's landed with like something perfect with this trios championship they have because all the matches for the trios championship so far, or just trios matches, have been really fun, really exciting, and stuff like that. So you have Top Flight and AR Fox. Remember, Top Flight beating they beat the Elite, right? They it was a non-title match and they beat the
They beat
Elites,
the
right?
Bucks.
The
Top
Bucks,
Flight
sorry.
beat the Bucks.
I meant the
Yep.
Bucks. I keep saying the Elite, but the Bucks, yes. So these guys are like, obviously on a trajectory to like the moon, but they're not going to beat the Elite. We know they're not beating the Elite. It's too early for that. It is really too early for that. But stranger things have happened, right? Stranger
Mm-hmm.
things have happened.
Samoa Joe is our TNT champion.
Yes, he really is with that amazing match last week. So yeah, this is going to be fantastic. This match is going to be like again match of the night as we just said. And there is absolutely no way this match is not going to be as great as it's supposed to be. My prediction is this match is actually going on first. I have a feeling it's gonna kick the show off because you're gonna have to end the show with MJF versus Takeshita, I guess, right? Because he is the champion. Anyways,
Do
but
they have to though,
I
really?
don't know. I don't know. Hey, the trios is a championship, right? Which right now we think is being treated better than the tag and the World Heavyweight
Well,
Championship, right? It
there's a
is
common denominator there. You just said the trios matches have been exciting. Why? Why? Because
because
either the Lucha Brothers and Pac
yeah,
or
with the Elite.
the Elite have held the titles.
Yeah.
That's why they're exciting because you put them on exciting wrestlers who are amazing. They go out, they
Yeah.
can cut decent promos or excellent promos, depending on which person you're talking about. I mean, Penta El Zero Miedo is not going to win any awards for his promos, but damn, he's amazing in the
He's
ring, right?
awesome.
Ray Phoenix, Pac. I mean, okay, it's the Elite people, it's the Elite. So you put belts on these. Imagine if the Young Bucks had the tag titles. How exciting would the tag title matches
Mhm.
be now? Right? What if the Lucha Brothers had the tag titles? Right? How exciting are the tag matches now?
I am hoping that the loss to Takeshita carries on the Don Callis recruitment angle
Oh, hells
because
yes.
he'll be like, you could have won this match had you gotten some coaching from
Mm-hmm.
me and the elites who are
Yes.
champions, stuff like that, right? So I'm more looking forward to that than anything else. Like I'm really hoping Takeshita turns heel, but he's
Mm-hmm.
such a big baby face right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And does he even need to be heel? Because the
no,
Bucks and Kenny are kind of heels, but kind of
but they're
not
not really.
heels. They're just
Exactly.
the Bucks and and
Yeah,
Kenny Omega.
yeah,
They're just them.
yeah.
And they
It's
can play
it's
either
like
side.
yeah, so it's like Moxley and stuff like that, who's
Yeah.
not really a heel, not
They're
really a
just
face, but
them.
yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah,
is great. I mean, that's who they should be. Like I said, Japanese wrestling lives on this stuff. You've got some defined baby faces, some
hmm
defined heels, but then you've got a bunch of guys that are just kind of like
in
guys.
between, yeah.
Yeah. You know, how great would it be to have like a Japanese arm of the Elite?
I think it'd be fantastic. I
Because
think
we've
it'd be
got Mr.
absolutely
Kota
fantastic.
Ibushi going back to open up his little
Mm,
wrestling academy there in Japan while he's doing some dates over here. And then after that, he becomes more open up to doing some stuff. So
yep,
I'm just
yep,
saying a Konosuke Takeshita Kota Ibushi tag team would be pretty awesome.
yeah. I'm kind of hoping for that. Like I'd love to see Kota versus Omega again,
Mhm.
Kota with Omega again. Like
Yeah.
no, it doesn't really matter. Like I think Ibushi, I think he best fits in AEW. If anything, like we know he's not going back to New Japan,
Right.
and he best fits in AEW. So
Yeah.
like I have listen, there are people that you're like, yeah, they may go here, they may go there. There's only one place for this guy to go. And I just can't wait for that reveal whenever it happens. Who knows, right?
Mhm.
Revolution, whatever. But I am very, very curious about the Takeshita, because then does Takeshita accept it? Because remember, Danielson himself hasn't really been part of the Blackpool Combat Club much recently, if you've noticed that.
Mhm.
Does Danielson start just coaching Takeshita,
Or
right? Like,
tagging with Takeshita.
or tagging with Takeshita, right?
They can go
Against the
take the
Elite and
tag
stuff like
belts
that.
off the Acclaimed. That would be pretty
Yeah,
great.
but do they go with that angle against the Elite? Because we know Daniels is not going to beat MJF at Revolution. So what
Yeah.
angle do you go with after that, right? Like
Yeah.
Danielson just wants to wrestle. I wouldn't mind seeing, hey, Danielson Omega 2. That never happened, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Could you imagine a Danielson Omega Takeshita triple threat match?
or here's another thought for you: Takeshita and Danielson versus the reunited Golden Lovers, right?
That
Or
would
even
also work.
right. So there's so many little things here,
Yep.
like because it could be, hey, Don Callis tries to recruit Takeshita, it doesn't work, but guess what? We found somebody better,
Yes.
right? And it ends up
Yep.
being Kota Ibushi, right? So
Right.
so again, we're fantasy booking here, guys, but we're just saying the AEW has amazing wrestlers. Use them more often, right?
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
don't want to come in here and say like, okay, well, what's really the storyline that's going on right now? The Elite are just going through people. That's it. There's not really a storyline there. Sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Right?
mean, in this case, the storyline is, there's a chance they might win because Top Flight's been up and coming. They've actually built Top Flight. Top Flight
They
seems
have.
like a legit threat right now.
They have.
Um, we still don't think they're going to beat the Elite, but at least they look like a legitimate trio.
But look at this. Look at this way. The most coherent storyline and kind of most interesting one that's going on right now is not the men's division. It's the women's division,
Oh yeah,
right? The fact that Saraya and I keep forgetting her name. My God,
Tony
Tony
Storm.
Storm. Yeah, they're now the outsiders. Who are
Hmm.
they recruiting? Who's with them? Who's with Britt? Who's with? So that's more interesting to me than basically any of the storylines going on right now in the men's division. Which
Yes.
kudos to AEW for course correcting, but don't forget about the wrestlers you have right now. Right?
Yes,
The House of
exactly.
Black. What's happening with them? Like Kingston and Ortiz. There's all these little things happening. And I don't know if it's just that they don't have time to do this, or they're focusing on the
Well,
wrong things,
the,
or
the whole thing with the House of Black, right? Like with
yeah,
Aleister Black. Well, sorry, Eddie, we don't actually want you to
want
join
you.
us. We just wanted to prove a point to you.
Everyone is corruptible, which is
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Do it some more,
Yes. Let's
right?
corrupt everybody.
Corrupt everyone.
Yep.
Corrupt everyone, right? But give them a good feud, because yeah, they destroyed people on Dark, or sorry, on Elevation, because apparently they're on Elevation and Rampage. So
So is tonight the night they finally, after the Elite versus Top Flight and AR Fox, they just come out and destroy everybody?
I hope so. I hope so. Right? Then
Yeah.
I would prefer that. Like here's the problem. If AR Fox and the Elite win tonight, even though they're not going to, I wouldn't mind that. I would not.
Hmm.
I would be like, my God, it's an awesome match. And if they went up against the House of Black, I'd be like, this is fresh. This is new.
Hmm.
Right? Right? I'm okay with this. But then the question is, what do you do with Kenny and the Bucks?
Yeah.
Right? What do you do with them? So there's so many, because they're not, the Bucks so far are not even going for the tag belts. Kenny's not going for the championship. So what do you do? Right?
You send them after the championships.
That's my point. I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But they have this love affair. Tony Khan has this love affair with MJF, and I just don't get it. I
I
just
don't either.
do not understand it. So, we'll see. We'll give the benefit of the doubt. Hey, at
Hmm.
least at the end of the day, we're getting awesome wrestling, right?
Yep. That's all that
Um,
matters.
yeah, yeah. I would
And you
prefer
know
some
what?
cool
I would be
storylines.
down for an Elite versus the Firm faction war.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. I mean,
because the
the match on Friday
fantastic.
surprised me. It was entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
There's enough comedy guys kicking around in both factions that you could have all kinds of fun stuff. Like, you've got Brandon Cutler there. He could have matches against like Isaiah
Isaiah
Cassidy or whatever.
Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as I get to see Isaiah Cassidy come out dancing to Matt Hardy's music,
You're down.
I'm down. I'm so down.
Sadly, that will not be
man.
happening on tonight's episode of Dynamite,
No,
which I guess we should probably go and watch.
well, let's do this.
Okay. We will be back. And that was Dynamite. It came to us, like I said before, from El Paso County Coliseum, a very loud arena in El Paso, Texas. This is a special, as we are informed, championship fight night episode of Dynamite. All 4 world championships are in play, and we have Taz, Tony, and Excalibur on commentary. And we open up with MJF's music hitting, and we get MJF versus Konosuke Takeshita in an AEW World Championship Eliminator match. Takeshita actually gets sucked into a handshake at the start, but comes back with an immediate Takeshita line and takes control, hitting a jumping knee, but MJF pulls the ref in front to stop Konosuke and goes to work on Takeshita's arm, including a solid hammerlock DDT, softening him up for the salt of the earth. Takeshita finally gets out of it with an exploder suplex into the corner, followed by a series of running boots, a sheer drop brainbuster for a near fall. Takeshita then lands an amazing frog splash, doing the entire Eddie Guerrero, mannerisms, etc. Crowds screaming Eddie for 2. MJF tries to reverse the follow-up with a tombstone, but Takeshita turns him over, lands a tombstone of his own, including one that wraps the legs up, and followed by a deadlift German suplex, but MJF rolls to the outside. Takeshita goes for a plancha, but MJF moves, leaving Takeshita to wipe out on the floor. MJF tries to throw Takeshita into a ring post, but Takeshita reversed it. He rolls MJF into the ring, climbs to the top, but MJF hits the rope, disrupting Takeshita. Takeshita hits like a diving lariat with MJF in the air off the top rope, but MJF lands on his feet. He nails Takeshita with a thrust kick and an elbow, but Takeshita comes back with a big lariat again, and both are down. Takeshita recovers first, covers MJF, but he reverses it into the salt of the earth until Takeshita rolls him into a pin for 2, throws MJF to the outside, hits a tope con hero for 2, tosses MJF back in the ring, goes for a running knee with his the knee pad pulled down. MJF rolls out, though, tossing MJF back in the ring. MJF pulls the ref again, and when the ref is tossed out of the way, nails a low blow, goes after the arm again with knee drops, but Takeshita moves on the big knee bomb and lands a number of elbows of his own. MJF comes back with a power bomb onto his knee, but that seems to injure his knee, allowing Takeshita to hit a blue thunder bomb for 2, then a knee strike, but MJF gets his foot on the rope. He goes for the Senton Atomico, but he misses, and MJF locks on the salt of the earth. After substantial struggling, Takeshita finally taps. What did you think of this opening match, Krishna?
We have to give credit where credit's due, right? We knew there were going to be some shenanigans, but that being said, this was a damn good match between Takeshita and MJF. And, I want to give the majority of the praise to Takeshita because he did a lot of stuff, but MJF did his part. As I said, MJF can have decent matches when he wants to. And I had so much fun in this match. There was no way I thought Takeshita was going to win, but I didn't also see the offense from Takeshita in this match. I didn't think Takeshita was going to dominate the way he did. Credit to him for selling that arm and MJF really, really working on that arm, right? To the point where, even when Takeshita did drop the frog splash, he favored the arm because the way he braced on it, right? I had when this match finished, I was like, this is a good sign for this show. This if this is how the first match is gonna go, man, the other matches are gonna be fantastic. I really love this match. I thought it was so good. Where it stands in my obviously rating of all 6, I think I'm still gonna leave it in the 3rd spot, but that's only because things happened in this show that I want to give some credit to. We'll get to it, but I'm not gonna. I have to give praise where it's due, and MJF and Takeshita put on a great match here.
Oh hell yeah. No, this match was great. I mean, this was
Yeah.
to me, this was a clear 4-star
Mhm.
match. Takeshita was amazing, his usual amazing self. And you know what? MJF played his role really well. He showed he was targeting the body part effectively. He took the bumps he needed to take really well too. His comebacks, he was trying, so he landing
Mhm.
on his feet out of that
Yeah.
lariat was
Impressive.
impressive. That was really good. So you're absolutely right. Credit where it's due. I think that working with Takeshita, it's kind of like working with Danielson, right? It makes
Mhm.
everyone who works with him
Mhm.
just that much better. But I'm not going to say that, you put a broomstick in there, the broomstick might look good, but it's still a broomstick. MJF, not bad at
Yeah.
all. He
Agreed.
he did his job. I'm going to give credit where it's due too.
Agreed.
Solid match. Really enjoyed it. Oh man, it's tough for me where to put this one.
Okay.
Really, really tough, right? Because I'm gonna have to put it in third, but it's so
Yeah.
marginal, and I really had to
It's
debate it. So,
fair. Same. Same. I actually considered this going into my 2 spot. I
mhm,
really did.
so did I.
But it
We
was
may have
just
different number twos
yeah.
though.
Maybe.
So, we shall see. After the match, though, MJF drops Takeshita with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, busting him open. He then
Mhm.
pounds on Takeshita until Danielson comes in for the save because Danielson can save people, unlike perhaps the guy who was lying on the mat. But we'll get to that later. Anyway, so Danielson comes in for the save, MJF runs off, and then we cut to a Samoa Joe promo vid. We called it. Samoa Joe has a promo on the
Mhm.
show, and he said, "What stands before you is your assurance that all is right in the universe." I just love his promos. Darby Allin, I may not agree with the way you conduct yourself in the ring, but you are a worthy adversary.
Yep.
But you know who's not a worthy adversary? That's you, Wardlow. I've taken your championship and your scalp. What more do you want me to take from you? From the very beginning with War
Mhm.
Joe, I knew that men like you are ambitious and need to be put down immediately, so that's what I did. So if you come for me, I know you're a man with many secrets, and week after week, I'll peel away that onion and I'll expose you for those secrets. You might be coming to take my championship from me, but I'll be coming to take everything from you.
Joe, we're not worthy. We are not worthy. Okay. You're so awesome. Um, yeah, this is smart. Let Joe do all the talking. MJF. Wardlow doesn't have to say anything, right? Let Joe build
Mhm.
this match to Revolution. Um, yeah, Samoa Joe. So I love the praise he gave to Darby Allin. That's so cool too. But yeah, he's so good on the mic. My God, his promos are so. I think back and I'm like, Miro who? Like, remember we used to like praise Miro for his promos and
Mhm.
he couldn't really deliver in the ring? Well, Joe does them both. So I prefer Samoa Joe, and I can't wait to see what he does with these belts.
Yep. Oh no, Samoa Joe is awesome. Feud with Wardlow, okay, that's fine, but I
Yeah.
just want to see Joe kill him a few times. That would
Hmm.
be pretty great. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Do I think Wardlow's probably going to end up with that TNT Championship again? Probably at
Yeah.
some point. But I'll enjoy the promos and the matches while I'm waiting because Joe and Wardlow can actually put on pretty decent matches together. So kind of looking forward to it. Next up, though, we have Jamie Hayter taking on the Bunny in an AEW Women's World Championship Eliminator match. They actually shake hands to start it off. Hayter dominates early with a vicious headlock, multiple shoulder blocks until the Bunny catches her in the corner and does a hanging figure four necklock, reverse DDT on the middle rope to the outside. They brawl around the outside for a bit. Back in the ring, the Bunny gets control with an eye gouge, kicks in the corner, sliding lariat for two. She goes for a pile driver on the apron, but Hayter fights out, and then they brawl on the apron until Hayter drives Bunny head first down into the apron. She then hits two exploder suplexes, including one that the announcers explained the Bunny is trying to block, but she looked a little off, and then
Hmm.
immediately hits the Haterade for three. Um,
Yeah.
you do see in the background as Hayter's walking up the ramp, the doctor is actually escorting the
Hmm.
Bunny out with Penelope Ford.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna. That's the reason I'm actually gonna give this match like the number 5 spot here. The reason is because so while you were watching it on Fight, I was watching it on TSN. So it was in the commercial break, and right when the commercial break finished, the match finished. that's when the issue happened, right?
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, whoa, that was really odd how that happened there. And when you see that exploder, you're like, that exploder did not land well, right? And you saw the bunny holding her face the entire time. It didn't matter. Even when
Yeah.
Hayter picked her up for her lariat, she still was holding her face. So, and you could see the minute that exploder hit, the referee dropped. Like, was it Aubrey? Was it Aubrey or was it someone else? I can't remember. They dropped down immediately asking if she was okay, right? I think it's either maybe Remsburg or Aubrey. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't
But
remember the ref was either.
yeah, dropped down immediately, and it looked like something was off, right? And even when
Yep.
Hayter, if you look at Hayter's stomps, like after she started stomping on her, you're like, yeah, she's lightly tapping her. She can tell something's wrong, right? So hopefully the bunny's okay, because I love the fact that she was introduced from Toronto, Canada, or Toronto, Ontario, Canada, when she was introduced. But the match, it seemed like it was supposed to go on a bit longer, because then everything else seemed to be kind of
Absolutely. Yeah.
rushed
Excalibur filled in
afterwards,
a lot of time a couple
right?
moments later. Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to Excalibur and to the crew because you could tell the minute that they zoomed in on Hayter and not zooming in on the bunny, the audience was just like, they were staring, not even looking at Hayter, they were looking at her. So they knew something was up too, right?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm giving this a 5 spot, because I because it didn't finish the way it wanted to finish. The match was going pretty good, and then the spot happened, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully the bunny's okay. Hopefully
Yeah.
everything's all right with her. But yeah, really odd, really
Well,
odd
I'm kind of
match.
suspicious, I mean, I get to watch it on
Yeah.
Fight, right? So
Mhm.
I saw pretty clearly when she slammed her down on the apron on the outside. I'm not so
Mhm.
sure the bunny got her arm up to protect her own
Oh
head.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think her head actually ate the apron, which might have caused her to be kind of woozy, which is why, the
The
first
second
exploder sent
exploder.
her for a
Yeah.
loop, and the second one, she was off, right?
Yeah.
And she's had head injuries in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a good sign.
No, no.
Um, it's unfortunate that these things happen. I have to agree with you, number 5 spot, but surely because of the way the match ended,
Yeah, that's
which
it.
is, I don't believe it's any fault of anyone involved in the match. I mean, I didn't see a move that was poorly executed, right? If she didn't get her arm up, she didn't get her arm up. I'm sure that
Mm-hmm.
happens occasionally because they
Mm-hmm.
obviously had the spot. They both slammed each other down in that
Yeah.
moment. They both rolled into the ring out of it. Um, it's just unfortunate. I'm not sure if that was the spot though, right? I saw it and I was like, wow, that was vicious. But
Mm-hmm.
then I saw the two exploders hit, and the second one I was like, well, that was weird. And then you could
Yeah.
tell,
Yeah.
yeah. So I really hope the bunny's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking Twitter during Dynamite and I didn't see any news updates or anything like that or any reports on it. There were just a lot of people hoping she's okay. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so anyway, we then go to Renee in the back with Saraya and Toni Storm, and Saraya says, "Congrats, you won," to Jamie Hayter, but you're a loser like everyone else in AEW. And then Leva Bates comes in. They're like, "Hey, your name begins with L, so you're a loser." And Tony decks her from behind. They spray paint her, and the only advice that I can give to them is they really need to watch the old NWO videos where they beat people down and spray paint them because, they've got a little bit to learn. What did you think of this
Yeah. I
segment?
mean, I didn't realize that I know they're in Texas, but I didn't realize they were going to be promoting the Latino World Order, right? So kudos to kudos to them. They just forgot the W and the O, but the L. I don't mind this. I really don't. I think it's kind of funny because they are the outsiders beating. They're really just beating up on the AEW originals, right? Bringing poor Leva Bates in. Oh, Leva, what's wrong with
Yeah.
you? But yeah, and you could tell everything was being rushed, because then after this, they just go back to the fact what's it called Hayter and Britt leaving still, and you're like,
Hmm.
yeah, this is odd. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, everything was rushed. It's fine. I mean, it's better they have Saraya speaking for Toni Storm, right?
Mhm.
Because Toni Storm's promos weren't the greatest, right?
Right.
Whenever she spoke, so they've got a good team up here. I want to see them move a little bit with this, see where they're going to be going.
Mhm.
Maybe recruit some more people. Maybe that, because I think right now you're kind of like, well, it's two of you against a locker room. I don't know how that's gonna work, right?
Unless they just
So
keep isolating Leva Bates.
yeah, poor Leva Bates. But yeah, I'm curious to find out who else they recruit, because I think that's what's gonna be building up. And when Sheeta comes
Mhm.
back and stuff like that, and Soho, and like and I'm very curious what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this for me, this was a little bit flat, It was just a
Mhm.
little too contrived, a little too planned, a little too obvious. That's what I mean. They really need to watch some of those old NWO videos and get a clue how to do these kind of spray paint beat downs, right? So yeah, but other than that, no, you're right. I'm interested in where this is going to. So we shall see. We shall see. Then we get MJF in the locker room being interviewed, and he says to Takeshita, everyone was talking about you like you're the next big thing, but you're no match for generational talent. Danielson, you treat me like I'm a scumbag. The crowd treats me like I'm a scumbag. A man does not know what he's truly made of, though, until he's met with adversity. And he tells a story about high school where he had this blue Camaro and he got tons of speeding tickets for it. The junior prom, they were all hooking up with these fine hotties in Long Island, he says. And then there's Liv, and he describes her in detail. And they hopped in his blue Camaro. It was raining. He hydroplaned. He panicked and hit the accelerator instead of the brake at 90 miles an hour. They ram a telephone pole. He was confused and covered in blood, and Liv's head had cracked into the windshield. And he found out what type of man he was in that moment because he switched seats with Liv, so she was the one driving when the cops showed up. So tonight, he said, Danielson, you're exposed. You don't have the balls to do what it takes to become a winner. There'll be no Iron Man match. You'll never come close to the belt because I'm a scumbag and I'm damn proud of it.
What a what a ridiculous story he tells, right? But it's ridiculous. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I laughed after he said he switched because I'm like, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
MJF right there,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's beat and switch, right? Like I like. So I'm like he puts the girl in the driver's seat. I'm like, you're so, and but you know what? It's building the fact that he's scum, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're just building. This promo honestly has been one of the better ones that he's had in a while. Because he's been coming out saying just random garbage, and you're like, dude, just shut up, man. Like it's like he wasn't out here insulting the crowd or anything like that. He was just telling a story as why Danielson's never gonna win, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't mind this. I thought this was actually okay. It just makes MJF the bigger heel, right? And that's what we need for this ongoing feud. And I'm okay with it. After his performance today, I was okay with this promo.
Yep. Oh no, I liked this promo. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, you guys are going a much better direction. Again, hey,
Mhm.
credit where it's due. First, he has a decent match tonight. I mean, while Takeshita was amazing in the match, but he had a good showing in that match too. Then he cuts what's probably his best promo in weeks. Right. And you know why? He went back to the I'm telling stories thing.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, yeah. And he used the story in this case to tell the story of this match, which they're finally putting in a way that makes sense. I will do whatever it takes to keep this title. You will not. And here's some proof of that. You want to see how I handle adversity? I handle adversity by shoving someone else under the bus, essentially. Right. Like this woman whose head is smashed in, I'm going to let her take the fall for this accident. Like an absolute utter scumbag, right? But that's what he's willing to
Yep.
do to win. So, it really does tell the story of a solid heel champion. And I thought this was the best showing for him in a very long time. So it's the first time I've ever been mildly interested in seeing MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a while because they're starting to tell a story, a good one. So we'll see where they go with this.
Agreed.
Then we get the Garcia-Guevara gauntlet match. Angelo Parker is in first. Garcia goes right after him, but soon Parker hits a suplex and a drop kick. Starks goes for the Rochambeau, but Parker fights out, only to get speared for the 3 count. Matt Menard sneaks in behind, but Starks rolls him up immediately for 3, and we're down immediately to the Garcia, or is it Sammy? So Tony comments that this kind of match is incredible. I mean, normally you'd see the person fight the guys over a bunch of weeks, but this time he's fighting them all in one night. Okay, Tony, you've never seen a gauntlet match in your life? Seriously? Tony Schiavone. Anyway, and he also obviously doesn't watch Stardom. I'm just saying. Daniel Garcia then comes out, his music, but then Sammy's music hits. He hugs Garcia. They come down together. Who's it gonna be? Starks goes after Sammy, but then Garcia nails him from behind, and it's Garcia. So, choking him in the corner with his boot, Garcia then beats him down repeatedly. The crowd is far more interested at this point in chanting at Sammy. Garcia lands a cocky back heel kick and a DDT for 2. Starks goes for a spear, but Garcia catches him in a front guillotine with a body lock. Starks gets to his feet though, power bombs Garcia. Both are down for a bit. Starks is up first, climbs the rope, but Garcia catches him, superplexes him. Starks rolls through, lands a Northern Lights bomb on Garcia for 2. The crowd loves Ricky. I mean, they are chanting this dude's name. He goes for the Rochambeau, but Garcia fights out to the apron. They exchange blows until Starks spears Garcia, and they both roll to the floor. But Starks is close to the guardrail. Suddenly, a masked fan lands a Judas effect to Ricky, which the announcers refused to note is the Judas effect. I mean, it was clearly the Judas effect. It was clearly Chris Jericho, and we clearly need to buy glasses for the announce team. Starks rolls him in the ring and pins him for 3. Garcia, the best part of it was when Jericho pulls the mask off, and Garcia's like, "Oh my God, that's Chris Jericho." What'd you think of the match?
Yeah, I like this match. It was JAS shenanigans as always, but like after Parker and Menard got eliminated, Garcia had a pretty decent match with Starks. Right, I keep forgetting how good Garcia actually is. Even though I was saying I wanted Sammy, like I had a fun time with Garcia in this match. I didn't like when he got hit with the Judas effect. I didn't see coming because obviously it was off camera, right? And then suddenly see him get knocked over. I'm like, wait. Did Jericho just hit him with the Judas? I love the fans and the commentators sold it so well. Who is that? It was like a spinning elbow to the
No, I'm like, guys, it was obviously a Judas effect.
I love the fact that Taz has fully embraced the heel announcer and is absolutely going fully in. He's like, I don't know, who is that? And then of course you have Shivani kind of, oh, I wonder who that is under that. Look at the stature of this man. And obviously it was Jericho. But you know what? I'm very like, I don't know what to think about this match because like it's my number 4 spot, so it didn't really change. But the storyline for this, I'm very confused where this is going, right? Because I was like, so Ricky Starks left? Sorry, he lost. I guess after he went through the gauntlet, and I wouldn't even call it a gauntlet. He pretty much pinned Menard and Parker in like 2 minutes, not even, right? And then Garcia and Guevara came down. He had like a mini match with the Garcia. So I'm hesitant to call it a gauntlet, right? But it was okay. I mean, it wasn't a bad match in any way. I'm very confused with the finish because like they just beat him up, and where was Action Andretti or anybody like that? Where was anybody? Right? Like, listen, I get it. Ricky Starks probably doesn't have many friends in AEW. So, but I'm just stuck on the booking here. I don't understand it. Right?
Would you like me to explain
this is not the first time I'm gonna. Yeah, this is not the end of my booking issue I'm gonna talk about tonight.
This one I can explain to you though.
Okay.
You see, this is a classic wrestling trope number 73. This is okay. Good guy seems to be thwarted by heel cheating. But then good guy with his amazing promo skills will bait quick-tempered heel into giving him another shot through some mechanism or another. So he's going to find some way to trick Jericho now into an actual match. This
Probably
is to come.
Revolution, right?
Yeah, he's going to trick him into a match. It'll be like next week. He's going to do something, say something, and Jericho's going to lose his temper and agree. All
right, I guess we can go down that.
Well, I mean, Ricky Starks is basically WWE wrestler number 7 who can wrestle better than most of them, right?
Yeah. And I mean, but his promos haven't been that great either. So hopefully after the MJF turn this week, maybe Ricky's promo is going to be better next week. So
we can hope. We can hope. One step at a time. One step at a time. You know, MJF, Ray of Hope today. Ricky, I kind of liked the ending because it was surprising. Remember I said earlier, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna like lose the match. Like he's not gonna beat all the guys, right?
Yeah.
But no, he lost, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is different. I'm kind of cool with this.
I think they booked themselves into a corner. That's why. Because remember when we discussed this at the beginning, we said, hey, if he beats these guys, he earns a shot eventually to face Jericho. So we had thought it was not tonight. Right. When they said tonight, I was like, he's gonna fight Jericho tonight? That doesn't make any sense. And so when it happened, I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. Right. So I was like, okay, I get it. So you could have just said he earns a shot at Jericho at something, but whatever. It is what it is. So
Yep. No, I was fine, but I agree with you with its positioning. The women's match would have beaten it if it had
Easily.
probably, yeah, because it was on its way to beat this
Yeah.
easily. It's just the
Yeah.
finish of it kind of dropped it short.
Threw it.
So then
Yeah.
we get
Threw it.
Renee Paquette in the back with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And Renee says, Billy, you're in the middle. How do you feel? That's like her favorite question. How do you feel about this? Billy says, I care about all four guys, so I'll stay in the back and let them handle their business. And Max says, we support Billy. We got this. And then they do that thing that they do. The thing. That's it.
Yeah, but notice Bowen's reaction
Yes.
to the entire thing, right? He was kind of very hesitant to say anything because I think he's showing that he's upset with Billy for booking this match in the first place. He gets to play only Billy Gunn can book matches.
Yes.
So I like that, but yeah, okay. When we get to the ending, we get to the ending. Anyways.
But then we go to commercial and come back, and Renee is now with Bryan Danielson and Takeshita. Takeshita's got a big bandage wrapped around his head. He's being looked at by the doctor. And Renee says, hey, you're facing Roosh tonight. And then all of a sudden, Jose, the assistant, closes the door and locks it. And Danielson is locked in the room with Renee, Takeshita, and the doctor as Roosh heads to the ring. Can I ask a dumb question? Why does the trainer room lock from the outside?
Well, actually, so I was listening to this, right? So as I was listening to in the basement, they made it sound as if he had drilled in the sides of the doors so they couldn't come in, because they actually it sounded like a drill working. So I'm like, oh, he somehow drilled in something that's making the door not open. So I'm like,
oh,
okay, sure.
That's elaborate.
So yeah, that's the point. I was like, okay,
yeah.
I guess that's what they were doing, because
sure,
we hear the drill.
That's better than an outside lock. So they got a drill, and they're literally building a very quick MacGyver-like contraption to keep him in the room.
Exactly.
Okay. And I just confused everybody under the age of 30 with my MacGyver reference. Okay. So then we get Roosh versus Bryan Danielson, with Bryan Danielson trapped in a room. Roosh comes out, then MJF comes out, and he tells the ref, who I believe was Aubrey in this match, correct? Yes. Tells Aubrey that the Danielson match is scheduled for match. He's not here. You know the bylaws. And he got the tense wrong on his Spanish verb, proving he does not, in fact, know Spanish. He makes Aubrey do a 10 count. Danielson then bursts out of the room. Apparently, they just barrel the door down, which is exactly what they did. Takeshita takes out Jose, the assistant. So Takeshita is, I would like to note, able to fight right now. Danielson reaches the ring, but Roosh stomps him down as he enters, multiple lariats and a drop kick to the back. MJF joins commentary and yells a lot. Roosh chops Danielson, kicks him down, and for some reason we needed to see the commentary desk as Roosh ties Danielson's arm in the ropes, but Danielson comes back and they engage in a big chop fight, which Roosh ends with a kick and a running knee. He tosses Danielson to the outside, throws him into the rail hard twice, drop kick to the side of his head, and then smashes his head into a chair. Danielson is cut open. Roosh licks the blood off his hand and then headbutts him repeatedly, hurls him into the barricade twice, kneeing him into it, face washing him on it. He rolls him back in the ring, and when he tries to get back in, though, Danielson gets up and goes after him with elbows. They fight on the apron with Danielson dropping Roosh, but when he runs at him, Roosh sends him to the floor with an exploder suplex. Excalibur cuts into MJF, prompting MJF to note he only gets tough during the break. They've gone to commercial at this point. And then he goes, what, for your British fans? And then Tony informs MJF that they are, in fact, on DAZN as well. Roosh keeps beating Danielson down outside the ring, then back in the ring where he pulls up on the bull's horns. He gives him a casual kick and poses. Danielson is bleeding like crazy, but when Roosh pulls him up, Danielson reverses, locks in the label lock. Roosh makes it to the ropes, though, before Danielson can trap his other arm. Danielson follows with the tope suicida after Roosh rolls outside and throws Roosh into the barricade, running dropkick into the outside corner, like from one end of the ring to like the run end of the outside to the other. He rolls Roosh back in the ring, nailing the top rope shotgun dropkick. He delivers the yes kicks, but Roosh gets up on the last one, and they exchange more chops, like beating the hell out of each other in the corner. Rush delivers multiple stomps. Danielson nails 2 running drop kicks, but Rush lands a running elbow and a straightjacket pile driver for a near fall. Rush sets up for the bull's horns, but Danielson drills him with a Busaiku knee for another near fall. They exchange strikes again, including headbutts over and over and over. I mean, I lost count of the number of headbutts here. Rush finally drops Danielson with a slap. He lands a German, but Danielson rolls through and hits another Busaiku knee for the 3, giving Rush his first AEW loss. What did you think of this match?
Was it his first loss this year? Is that what, or in
something
general?
Like that? Yeah, the announcers mentioned something about it being his first loss. Probably
I saw 5-0, and I was
like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, if I saw 5-0, I'm like, did Rush never lose at AEW? Yeah, no, I thought this match was fantastic. I thought it continues the story of Danielson overcoming things, but man, did he get beaten down. Holy crap. Like, I was listening to his interview with Renee Paquette, and he said that, if whenever he gets into the ring, he wants to bleed for some reason. And he's like, he'll bleed in front of everyone. But if you were to ask him to bleed like right there, he'd be like, oh no, I don't really feel like. He just has the adrenaline that gets into him. So the blood that was in this match, holy crap, like he was bleeding. These guys absolutely beat the crap out of each other. I was watching Rush's strikes outside the ring, and I'm like, Rush is a really good wrestler. I can see how he's protecting Danielson at the same time as he's striking him, because the hits to the head were actually hitting him obviously on the shoulder, which was actually pretty good, but it looked brutal. Like those chops when they got into the ring and they're just chopping the crap out of each other. I was like, yeah, these guys just want to hurt each other. I knew obviously we knew Danielson was going to win, but I did like the fact that he took it like Rush took it to Danielson, and I didn't think that when they announced Rush, I was like, okay, fine, Rush, I guess. But then you have to remember Danielson hurt his arm. He got it worked over last week and this week as well. Like they were still beating him up. I thought this match was great. Like it was obviously one of the top matches of the night. And I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it, and again, I had high hopes continuing into the night.
Yep.
So sorry, and this was still my number 2
match of the night. Easily, in fact. I loved this match. Rush doesn't get enough credit in AEW for being a phenomenal wrestling talent. Just phenomenal. This match could have main evented a pay-per-view. It was so good, right? It just, the way they told the story, Rush just destroying Danielson coming back with that fire that he's got in him, showing that you have to put so much into this guy to keep him down, coming back over and over again, but Rush just destroying him in a beatdown worthy of Samoa Joe destroying him, right? Like those shots into the thing, but then Danielson gave as good as he got too, and you got to see the resilience of Rush too. I mean, the dude gets up during the yes kicks, right? Just stands up and starts chopping them. It was everything you'd want from like a good like Japanese strong style match combined with like great moving. Like these guys moved. This was not a slow match. They went at each other from start to finish. This match might have been the best of the Danielson series in these matches. It was exceptional. But I mean, I go back and like the match against Bandito, the match against Takeshita, right? It's like, holy crap. The matches this guy put on against the talent that he saw, I am going to miss these matches because they have been one of the highlights of Dynamite week in, week out. They have given me matches of the night on multiple occasions. And this one, like, again, any of those could be like Dynamite match of the year contenders. They're just so good. And I can't say enough good things about this match. The storytelling was off the charts. The selling was amazing. The fact that they just absolutely killed each other. They both gave everything they had in the ring. This is my kind of wrestling match. I was just, holy crap. I loved this match. Loved it. So yeah, that's it. I mean, match of the night for me easily. And I mean, this is match of the night on a night when the Elite wrestled. So, and it's not like the Elite sucked, people. Anyway, after the match, MJF drops Danielson in the ring with the Dynamite Diamond ring, beats on him, locking in the salt to the earth. And of course, naturally, Konosuke Takeshita comes down to save him, right? Because Danielson saved him earlier. He helped Danielson fight out of the room. He beat up Jose, the assistant, for him. So naturally, Takeshita came down, right? Right? No, no, random random
Yeah.
security guards, 1 to 5, came down and had to try to pry MJF off. Takeshita, I guess, at this point, been like, well, I'm done here. I'm going back to the hotel. You know,
Well,
the
wasn't Preston Vance there as well because when he
he
broke the
may
door
have
down,
been.
that's what I took away from it. I took away that Takesha's too busy handling Preston Vance and
Right.
Jose the
Yeah,
assistant,
Jose
right?
the assistant. And they have a drill. Let's not forget they apparently
Yeah,
also have a
they do have a drill
drill. Yeah,
exactly.
so they have a drill. So maybe he was up. But then where's the Blackpool Combat Club?
This is the comment I made earlier,
But he was wearing
right?
a Blackpool Combat Club shirt to the ring.
He was, and this is my point. He's there with them, but not really, right? So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just like, what happened? But anyway, yeah, he gets beaten down. Staff members come out and rescue him, and that was it. Yep. So their feud continues, of course, because it's going into the pay-per-view, but it made sense.
Yeah.
The beatdown made sense. So we come back, and I'm at this point going, okay, so we got 2 matches left. We're getting the Acclaimed and the Guns, and then the Elite is clearly main eventing this show, right? Right? No,
Nope.
no, the Elite actually get the death spot.
Yep.
They give the Elite versus AR Fox and Top Flight the death spot. I am clearly confused at this point, but okay. And again, I miss Battle Cry.
I know, same.
I know. Look, Carry On Wayward Son's a great song, but man, Battle Cry is just like epic entrance music. Why is this not the main event? Anyway, do you know who really loves the Acclaim, Krishna? Do you know who loves the Acclaimed? Tony Khan
Yep. Yeah, he
and the El
does.
Paso audience, but also Tony
Yeah,
Khan. Anyway,
especially
Dante
Tony Khan.
starts the match against Nick. As usual with one of these matches, I have missed some stuff. My
Of
wife came in
course.
while I was taking notes on this match, scared the hell out of me because I was so busy trying to take notes and watch the match that she actually made me jump out of my chair. And I said to her, I am like in one of these flurries trying to take notes on an elite match. So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to have some fun some night, take notes on a match with the Elite and Top Flight and AR
Yeah.
Fox. Anyway, the Dante starts against Nick. The Elite soon takes control after a good sequence by Dante. But the Bucks hit a great combo running neck breaker to Darius. Omega works him over for a while. Tony tells Donnie has a great hat. They work over Darius for a while. Matt goes for a super kick, but fakes him out and kicks Dante and AR Fox. Darius comes back with a Spanish fly, though, and gets a knee up on Matt's splash, but that seems to hurt his brace knee. He manages to tag in AR Fox, who fights off all 3 of the Elite, including 3 cutters, then topes to all the Elite outside. Top rope sent on Atomico to Omega for 2. He catches Omega on the turnbuckle with a suplex, tags Dante, who basically goes nuts with lucha style offense until Matt gets him in the Northern Lights sequence. Dante floats over, though, on the 3rd, but when the other 2 interfere, Matt does this double Northern Lights while jackknifing Dante for 2. So he Northern Lights both of the other members while applying a jackknife. Wow. Darius hits a spike DDT on Nick. Matt saves the pin. AR Fox takes down everyone while Top Flight hits the nosedive on Matt, followed by a top rope splash by Fox, but the left hand of God makes the save on the pin. Omega nails a dragon suplex on AR Fox, starting a waterfall sequence. The Elite nail an assisted indie taker at the end of it, but it's broken up. The Bucks toss Top Flight out. Nick moonsaults on him, this really cool kind of like flip up assisted moonsault by Matt. Fox dodges a V trigger and rolls Omega up for 2, but then Omega nails the V trigger and a Doctor Bomb follows for another 2 count. There's another V trigger. He sets up for the one-winged angel, but Fox rolls through it. Fox goes for another pin attempt for 2, but Omega then rolls him into a crucifix and gets the 3 count. What did you think?
So of course, me and my flippity matches I love. Like this I love this match. You're right. I don't know how you take notes of this. I couldn't even keep up with what was going on in the ring.
I have
What
a
I loved
pause
about this
button.
match, I know what I love about this match is the fact that they make the AR Fox and a Top Flight seem like they're ready. Like these are the top guys. Like they couldn't even finish them with their finishing moves. Kenny hit 2 V triggers tried to even he missed on the one-winged angel, and he still couldn't beat him. They had to do a surprise, almost a surprise roll-up kind of win, right?
Crucifix
And I'm
spin,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. Like I you know what? Everything doesn't like okay, WWE, they always do these stupid finishes, right? Like they do dumb finishes over and over again. This surprised me. I didn't think a match was gonna end like this because I thought they were gonna hit their finisher and that's how I was gonna. No, they had to do a reverse crucifix pin on him to get the win, right? So I'm like, wow, they actually made it seem like I bet there was one point where Kenny barely made it into the ring to make the save. I was like, oh my God, are they really going to take the belts off of these guys? I totally bet. I had so much fun with this match. Like it's the elites, and now that you have AR Fox and Top Flight, I'm like, okay, what next? Like, like where do we go from here? Kind of thing. Because to me, it's like where Danielson's going. What's happening with the elite and these guys now? Nothing happened afterwards. Like I was like, what? Okay, sure. I guess they want to like just give it because right after the match finished, they cut. And they went to was it an interview or backstage?
Oh yeah, they didn't even give
you?
this match 10 seconds to breathe, right?
No.
Like they have all this extra time from an early finish earlier, but rather than give it to allowing another match to breathe, because I guess they have to hit their timestamps on TV, they rush the end of the elite match like right up. Like they get the thing, their music hits, and backstage.
They're done. It's like, yeah, great. Now backstage. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So regardless, I mean, like I love you know me. I love the elite. I love these kind of flippity matches. So that's why I gave it my match of the night.
Well, hey, I also love the elite. This match was great. I would have given it 4.5 stars. This was a really good wrestling match, right? I loved the storytelling in it too. It wasn't quite at the level of Rush and Danielson, but it was really good. And you're right. They highlighted Top Flight and AR Fox. They're making these guys stars, man. AR Fox had that sequence with those topes and stuff that was just insane. I mean, man, the stuff these guys were pulling off, both teams, was just, it's spectacular. It's innovative. It's spectacular wrestling. I loved it. The finish was great. I loved the finish too, because it leaves it where there is more to come. Yeah, the elite won, but barely,
yep,
right. And I also bid on that moment. I'm like, are they going to take the belts off the elite? Seriously, I actually bid for a second going, wow, because like they seem to clean house and stuff. So I really hope that what this leads to now is a match on the pay-per-view between these two teams, because I would be totally down. Right, give these guys 20 minutes or more in the ring together. I want to see that. I want to see what these 6 guys can pull off in a ring with time on a big stage. I would be so down for that, because this match was great. The only flaw was it happened to be on the show with
same night.
Rush and Danielson on the same night, which was just like they took it to another level. They basically smacked it down and said, beat that. So, and the elite came very close to beating it.
And then the show ended, right?
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, well, this is a good place for us just to go record the podcast, right? The elite keep their titles, and we go off the air happy. The crowd's all cheering, everyone's happy, and we go off the air, right? But no, apparently we are now back to WWE Raw. And we go backstage. We have a Hook video, which, that's not quite Raw, but it's Hook. He's on the hunt. Hook's on the hunt, Krishna. On the hunt. Then we get a Stokely promo, and he tells the interviewer, whose name completely slips my mind because I keep forgetting her name, and that's terrible of me. I really need to make note of it. My humblest apologies. Stokely says there's no problem with the firm. The problem with the firm is Hook. And then Hook shows up and tells Stokely to be cautious with his words.
Yeah, I loved Stokely's facial expressions. Like the minute that she started saying, there's been cracks in the firm, he's like, there's nothing wrong with the firm, right? like Stokely really has grown on me. He's so funny. Yeah. But the whole, be cautious of the words. Like, what was the point of this?
I know, he's like beating up the manager.
Yeah, are you challenging Stokely to a match on a match page? What's happening?
Stokely is like, he has like 6 guys, right? Like.
And that's it. It's kind of, he could have easily said like send anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I barely even caught what he said, the way he said it. I was like, what did he just say? So when you just said, be careful with your words, I caught the words part. And I'm like, what did he say? Exactly.
Right.
So, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'm okay with this, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I was fine with it. Stokely's great. He's totally great. He went from being like almost nothing when he first came in, and I'm like, why is this guy considered a good manager and stuff? To like, okay, I totally get
He's
it now
so
because him with
funny.
the firm, that is the perfect fit for him.
He's so funny.
Perfect fit. Yeah, he fits that whole like semi-comedy, semi-serious wrestling thing that the firm has going on that I like so much about them, and I want to see more. So yeah, his faction,
Same.
no problem with them. Let's do it.
Same.
Let's do it because they're a whole lot better than what was about to come. So we get our main event of the evening. The Acclaimed taking on the Guns for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Max raps. The Guns aren't getting the title. They'll be shot down like a Chinese spy balloon. That's pretty much it. He said some stuff in Spanish, including telling them they had a small something. I'm going to leave the translation in. So I had a lot of trouble getting into this match at the start. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, do I have to watch this match? But anyway, there were a lot of hip tosses, and then they hit the scissor me timbers on Austin Gunn, and they do the thing. Excalibur tells Tony he could have enunciated the word picture better when they go out to the picture in picture. Tony goes on about scissoring, catching on with the fans as the Acclaim dumps the Guns outside. See, my favorite part of the commercial breaks now is listening to the commentary during commercial breaks. Don Callis has a nice hat. Tony could have enunciated picture better. But anyway, Colton and MJF telling Excalibur, you did this for your British fans. Anyway, Colton yanks Max off the apron as the ref is distracted. They work over Max in the corner for some time with basic moves. The crowd chants Hijo Cuyos. I'm pronouncing that terribly, but what it means in Spanish is ass boys. Max finally yanks the hot tag, battering both of them with elbows. Bowens lands the famouser for two. Bowens goes for a rolling elbow strike and decks the ref by mistake. Austin lands the quick draw on Bowens and grabs a belt, but then Billy Gunn comes down and stops the hit. Colton lays out Billy with a belt, though, from behind, and the Acclaimed are back up. They beat the Guns down. Bowens hits the arrival. Max hits the mic drop, but there's no referee. So Bowens rolls up Colton into an O'Connor roll after trying to get the ref back. The hurt ref counts slowly and Colton kicks out. Austin then nails Bowens with a belt behind the ref's back. Colton covers him and we get a 3 count. And we have new tag team champs in a classic WWE Raw match. What'd you think of this match?
So I think what's going to happen is they should have had a backstage segment where the ass boys just walk up to a garbage can and dump the tag team belts in it, representing what Tony Khan is doing to the tag division in AEW, right? The match itself wasn't terrible, and here's my big problem. Obviously, this is the worst match of the night for me. The match itself wasn't a terrible match, but it was by the numbers. It wasn't anything special. I always say the Guns play the heel role well. Like they take their bumps, they can work well. They're good. They're a good tag team. So is the Acclaim. But what they're being put up to do here is to tell a story where it, from what I'm assuming was supposed to happen, or I shouldn't say supposed to because we know exactly what happened, is that Billy Gunn when Billy Gunn started to come out, because I was like, oh my God, here comes a turn. And then there was no turn. And to me, I thought, you know what this is? This is Tony Khan saying, I know it makes sense here, but also I know how much the fans love Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed. And I'm not willing to make that split because a lot of money is being drawn in for that, right? Merch, exactly. But that hurts your product, though. It really does. And you know what? We are the outliers, right? We're the ones who really don't like this combination because it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why when they had their whole with the Guns talking about their dad and what he's doing to them, I'm like, I'm kind of agreeing with the Guns here. Billy Gunn really did do this to his sons. So, and the fact that they still won the match, I was like, huh. So now they won it without Billy Gunn, but technically the Acclaim won with Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn helped them win their belts the first time, right? Like we forget this, but as Swerve brings it up all the time. Billy Gunn is in that storyline, and I'm just stuck. I'm like, what the heck did I just watch? Right? I was like, what is this? Like, so the Guns are now the new tag team faces of AEW. The Guns, who do most of the wrestling on Dark, right, are now the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. And I sat there and I stopped, and they had like what 2 minutes to spare, right? 2 minutes. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is where it's gonna happen. Billy has them, but like both the Acclaimed are standing up. Oh, he's gonna turn on them. It's gonna be, oh, okay, they got us here. And then Excalibur said, "Thank you for joining us tonight." And I was like,
announces a bunch of matches, and
I was like, what just happened?
Don't forget, they then hit the Acclaim's music.
Yeah, yes, okay. And then the Guns won. They won. Why are we hitting the Acclaimed music?
I have no idea. As the crowd chants bullshit.
Yeah, this makes like, okay, listen, the crowd, they were shocked, but like they were shocked because they just didn't like the finish at all. They hated it.
They were shitting on this at the end. I don't think this was like, oh, this was, because bullshit is not a chant that you give when you're like, oh, this sucked. You'd be booing, whatever. They're chanting bullshit, which is generally a sign that the crowd hated the booking.
I hated the booking. I hated, like, listen, I hated the booking for ones when it was booked, but I thought to myself, I'll give it a shot here. I really tried to give it a shot because you hear me talking about, hey, the match wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great either, right? And then to have the finish the way it was and having Billy Gunn, because again, so many times I thought Billy Gunn was going to turn, right? But he picks up Bowens, and then he steps in the way. And, Colton hits him from behind with the belt, and I'm like, what?
See,
okay, sure.
I gave this match 2 stars. I'm going to tell you why I gave it 2 stars.
All right,
because I also was not as impressed with the wrestling as you were. I know these guys can do better than they did. And look, I don't care if it's the commercial break or not. If I got to watch the wrestling, I'm watching the wrestling. That beat down in the corner was so paint by numbers painful. It was just like strike, punch, strike. Like, just guy tries to get to the corner, they pull him back, strike, punch, tag, punch, strike. I'm like, oh my God, you're putting me to sleep. I just got through watching Roosh and Bryan Danielson, the Elite versus AR Fox and the Top Flight. I got through watching Konosuke, Takeshita, and MJF. Look, Jamie Hayter and the Bunny was doing really well up until the injury, right? I mean, I got to watch all these matches tonight. And this is what you give me as the main event. Like, I'm when I said this could be a WWE Raw main event from like 1990 or whatever, like 2012 or something, I'm not wrong, right? Because it was just so paint by numbers, so pedantic. The wrestling was just boring. And then the shenanigans were so ridiculous. Like, oh, another ref bump? I mean, didn't we already have the ref involved in a match earlier with MJF and Takeshita? I mean, he didn't take a bump, but he was involved in the match and helped with the finish. And so we do it again in the main event. That's lazy. 2, it's like, oh, so then we get multiple belt shots and then they walk off with the titles and what is a terrible finish. Just terrible. I don't care about these tag titles at all. You're right. The Guns may as well. That was a great line. They may as well have walked in the back and thrown the titles in the trash, because who the hell cares about the tag division at this point, to be quite honest. They have taken the greatest tag division in all of wrestling and turned it into this, whatever this is. The best thing they could have done was had Swerve and Keith Lee keep those titles and go for a decent run fighting a bunch of other teams. And the Acclaimed can go back to Dark Elevation and rap, but I get it. Tony Khan is a businessman and he likes money. And the Acclaimed is money, because everyone except apparently you and me loves the Acclaimed. And in this case, even the wrestling wasn't enough to save them. Worst match of the night. And one of the worst matches I've seen on AEW that was not done by Jade Cargill in quite some time. So
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at like a lot of the tweets because AEW tweeted a picture of the brand new champions, and people people are just responding with worst booking ever. Some guy who wrote, "This is why I still watch WWE," right?
Ooh, there. See that's a burn right there. That's a burn. Yeah. Because
Right?
you know what?
And
WWE fans aren't wrong saying that.
no, because they're kind of like, what is like what? Like no one can believe that they're like, who booked this? Who booked this match, right? Yeah, I'm with the audience today. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I just I'm still kind of like, okay, you know what? Maybe if this match was like not the main event, right?
Well, I was thinking that.
Maybe
I'm
I would,
like, could you not have
yeah,
like put this in like, the 8:30 spot or something
yeah,
like that?
yeah. And then we would have been like, okay, who cares? We got the rest of the matches afterwards, right?
Right. I
But
mean,
because
and
this
the elite
ended
and
the show,
top flight
yeah.
could have main evented, or you
And
could have had like Danielson or Roosh main event. I mean, any of the other matches could have main evented this show.
you know how we talk about like when we watch like the pay-per-views, we talk about palate cleansers, how they'll have like amazing match and then they'll have like a calmer match to
Mm,
cleanse the palate before they have something else. They had MJF kick it off, right? They
mhm,
then moved over to Hayter, and unfortunately the
mhm.
Hayter
Right.
and Bunny match, and then they had the Gauntlet, and the
Yeah.
Gauntlet wasn't that bad. That could have been a
No,
palate cleanser,
it
right?
was okay. I
Like
mean, it's not
yeah,
like
yeah,
again, the wrestling with Garcia and Starks was
it's
solid.
awesome. It
Yeah.
was really good. And then they had the Danielson match, and then they
Hmm.
had the Elite match, and then they just fell off a cliff,
Yeah.
right? So with this final match, and you're kind of like, why did you book this? Like, right?
Hmm.
So I'm hoping Tony Khan, listening to his fans, or not his fans, his audience, understands he made a mistake here. He made a mistake. Hey, people make mistakes, right?
Hmm.
I want to see how you correct this. I really want to see how you correct this,
Well,
right? Because I don't know, and I
yeah.
don't personally, I don't want to see the Acclaimed as champs again. I don't need them to be champs right now. I really don't, right? Nor do I need to have the Guns as a champ. So if someone else, if I don't know, do the are the Kings of the Black Throne doing anything? Do they want to come take the belts? Like we got. Like I'm just
That
thinking like who
would be awesome.
like who else like is anybody else from the tag division? Hey, best friends, hey, Trenton and what's his name, the
Chuck
Kentucky
Taylor.
gentleman himself, Chuck. You guys want the belts? I'm cool. I like you guys. You guys can have the belts, right?
They're also a really good
Yes,
tag team.
that's my point. Like, hey, workhorsemen. I would rather see you guys with the belts.
You know what I hear? I hear that
Right?
Anthony Henry guy is really good.
I don't know if I don't know if you know this, but there's this guy named Anthony Henry. This guy should keep on your radar. Check him out. He's pretty good, right? But I'm just like the fans in the audience. If this
Mhm.
was my main event, I'd go home pissed. Though we got such quality matches, I would go home pissed. I'd be like, what the hell was that? What the heck did you just end this show with, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this. It was like we know Rampage is probably being filmed right now or whatever, right? Because they filmed
Mhm.
Rampage after Dynamite. I'm
Yep.
hoping Rampage like delivers where Dynamite failed. I really do.
Oh, it can't help but. I mean, we're getting Mark Briscoe with a promo on it,
Yeah,
right? That's going to be
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I what a crappy ending, right? It's like,
Oh,
yeah, it's like having you get like a good meal and you're eating, you're like, wow, this is so delicious. You get to the end of it and you're like, has this hair been here the entire time? Right? Like, what the hell?
or you get to the
Right?
dessert and the milk and the ice cream is sour or
Oh,
something, right? And it's like,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's like it's such a, I don't know. Like as I said to you, Tony Khan isn't winning Booker of the Year right now for me.
No,
Okay,
no, no. And
not
it's
even
not to say
close.
that like see the thing is that he's giving us matches that are good, but the
Mhm.
wrestlers are what's turning them into amazing. The
Yeah,
talent,
yeah,
right? I mean, we're really getting to see a lot of talent shine week after week after week. And I don't want to say, like, look, I'm in no danger of not watching AEW. Okay. Yeah, there's
yeah.
been some questionable booking
Yeah.
decisions, but holy crap, some of the wrestling we got to watch tonight. I mean, this is why I'm a wrestling fan, right? This is
Yeah.
why I watch AEW. Man, that
Yeah.
Rouge Danielson match, holy hell. I mean, I want to go back and like watch all of the Danielson matches kind of in a sequence at some point and see which one I think is the better match. Because, oh my God, those were all so good. Danielson is just like an insane level talent, and he's fighting these other insane level talents, right? It's
Danielson
just
is
crazy.
earning like if you think about it, the past January now to February, Danielson is earning like wrestler of the year,
Oh, yeah.
contention right now because yeah, we talk about the match with Kenny and Will,
Hmm.
but my goodness, Danielson has some really awesome matches. Like
Hmm.
every single one has been great.
Yep.
There hasn't been one where I'm like, wow, that was not a really a good
No,
match. They've
they've
all
all
been
been
great.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
I know.
so I don't like I don't know what Bryan Danielson is on, but this guy is having the time of his life. And honestly, I kind of want him to win the belt now.
He's on
Right?
some kind of green juice
He
smoothie.
must be. He must be. He's recycled. I still always laugh at the at that one match we were watching, and the guy in the audience says, "Beat him up. He doesn't recycle."
That was the best.
I love it. So I
Yep.
mean, like, I really do like Tony Khan. If you have Bryan Danielson win this belt, it would shock me. I would not at any point think it's coming. Right, even though
No.
I'm saying it, I would not at any point think it was coming. Right, so
Give
and
me
MJF,
all the
hey,
Danielson title
yeah,
defenses. Oh my God. Could
yeah,
you
and
imagine?
hey, like MJF, you did well tonight. Like
Hmm.
I'm like even on I was just looking at the video, they keep showing it over that flip he did off the top rope. That was
Yep.
pretty impressive, right?
Yep.
So
Oh, he did really
so
well tonight. Yep.
and then we had that stupid match. That's what I said. I just don't understand it. I don't get it.
See,
And
I
that's the end of it.
I
I just don't get
I,
it.
I understand why the Acclaimed was put in the main event, right? I mean, the crowd
Love
indicates
them.
why as
Yeah.
well, right? Because let's face it, I am an anomaly. You're an anomaly. They love the Acclaim. They love the gimmick. I don't get it personally at all. I don't understand the scissoring thing. I think it's dumb, but there's a lot of people who think it's great. And you know what? There's something for everyone on AEW. So you know what? We're gonna get stuff like the Acclaimed occasionally because there are fans who truly love it, and that's okay. The thing about being a wrestling fan is you can like whatever the heck you want to like, and there's going to be something for you somewhere, right? That's
I
great.
have seen nothing positive, Bill, so far on
Well,
in the Twitter. Some guy
because
has a sign saying our expectations for you were low, but holy f, right?
yeah, yeah, because I mean, think about it this way. The reason why this is so bad is because it kills both sides. You and I are sitting
Yeah,
here going, we were expecting a bad match and we got it made even worse,
yeah.
right? Like we were expecting something. This was just a waste of our tag team division anyway, and they just made it into a confusing garbage waste of our tag division. And the people who love the
This
Acclaimed are like, this was a bullshit finish. What the hell was that?
this was Miz level wrestling,
Oh, that's
right?
what I mean.
This
It's like it seriously is like a classic WWE Raw match from like 2012 or something. It's just like it was
yeah,
garbage.
agreed, agreed.
Interferences, ref bumps, ooh, faked out turns, oh, the heels win the belts, mediocre at best wrestling, right? It was just like, oh God, it was bad. But but did anything on this show make the Omega level for you?
Hmm. I can't. I'm not gonna say anything made Omega. Like there are awesome matches, right? Amazing matches tonight. Like well, besides the one that we hated, um, but I don't think I'm gonna say anything made Omega level for me because I wasn't at that like shocked. I've never seen that before. Holy crap! Like these things are so nuts. I don't think, and I don't know if I'm just tainted because of that last match. To be honest with you, because I can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head, and I'm seeing the highlights of the Elite, and I see the Danielson match, and I even see the MJF match with Takeshita, and all that's in my head right now is how bad that last match was.
Right.
Right.
See, this is where you should really get into some meditation because you learn to just allow emotions like that. Just look at the emotion in your mind and watch it unravel. And it's
uh,
pretty great. Then you can go back to remembering the emotions of the good matches. Because for me, Rouge Danielson, Omega level,
Omega level. All
clearly
right.
Omega level. That was and it's the storytelling, the energy, the
Mhm.
effort, all the things you would expect out of Kenny Omega in a match. These
Yeah.
guys gave, right? Hard hitting, just like it's the kind of thing where you're like, man, this is everything I love about professional wrestling. Which for me, that's the Omega level. You put on a match where I'm just like, man, it feels great to be a wrestling fan right now right? And for me, that's what I'm remembering out of that. The passion I had in me when that match finished, I was like, damn, block caps comments under it, right? I'm just like, this was amazing, all right? Just amazing. And I still only gave it 4.75 stars. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's an amazing match. So yeah, I was just
Well, exactly. I mean, like, I guess it's gonna be hard for Danielson to be topped, to be, I guess, yeah, taken out of your wrestler of the week coming up. Who
it's
knows?
going to be very hard. Yeah.
Who-
Well, Roosh is right up there too, though, man. These
Yeah,
guys
Roosh
like
did
work
well.
together. And look,
Roosh
Takeshita put
did
on a
very, very
great
good.
show with MJ. I mean,
I
it's just so
know, I know.
yeah. And don't forget, I have not yet watched, and we'll be reporting on later this week on Stardom's pay-per-view from the 4th. So
Oh.
yeah, there's a whole string of matches that could be coming that could be beating Danielson and Rouge. So you just never know. You just never know. So, but yeah, the
True,
whole
true.
Dynamite itself definitely not Omega level.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yep. You got any final thoughts for us tonight, Krishna?
Yeah, my final thought is Tony Khan. What are you thinking? What is going on? What is going on? Like, I would love to. You know what? I would love for the next couple weeks to come back and say, you know what? I was wrong. I
Yeah.
was wrong. I don't see that happening. I do not see that happening.
Yep. My final thought of the evening is just AEW is clearly standing for all elite wrestling these days. Wrestling, because we got so much good wrestling, and it's been weeks in a row now that we've got so much good wrestling on the show. I'm just going to take that last thing as a blip, and I'm going to look optimistically at what I was given in the rest of the show, and I really hope the bunny's okay.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
Get better.
But as the great one, the left hand of God himself always says, goodbye, everybody. Mwah! And good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.